Hi, everybody. This is Peter Wilson from Grace Waves Devotional, coming to you from Manchester in the UK. And we're looking at these 5-minute grace meds. And the title today is What is True Servanthood Part 3? What is True Servanthood Part 3? And I want to say that last week in Part 2, I made an overbalanced statement. I said that the people are not there to serve the leaders are there to serve the people. And to a degree, that's true. But I want to balance it up today by saying that, yes, the people are there to serve the leaders as well. Then why did you make that statement last week, Pete, that the people weren't there to serve the leaders? It's because I was trying to get across an attitude that reveals the true nature of servanthood. So, for example, if I'm a leader and I say to my people, you make me a coffee, you go buy my morning paper, and you clean my office, that is not the attitude of a servant leader. And that attitude is, you are here to serve me. And when that happens, leadership will always break down, and the fallout will be control, abuse, and manipulation. So this is a hard lesson to learn for us leaders. And when I use the word leaders, I'm not just referring to the senior leader of a church. I'm referring to every level of leadership: house group leaders, worship leaders, youth and children's leaders, etc. So before I share with you what I want to say today, we have to know that if we're going to serve others, we must know how to set boundaries in our lives to prevent ourselves from being controlled, manipulated, and abused. And this not only applies to church members, but also church leaders as well. And I will speak about boundaries later in this series. But I want to say it's your responsibility and my responsibility to set boundaries, and we must learn how to do so. And I've said all that because I believe if we are a member of a local church, it is our duty to first serve the senior leader, and secondly, to serve the senior leader's vision. People do not like to hear that. Think logically about this. God calls a man or woman to build a local church and gives them a vision, a plan, and a blueprint of how to build that church. And you, as a church member, have an important part to play in building your church. But you say, Pete, why do I have to first serve the senior leader and secondly, serve the senior leader's vision? Well, are you ready for the answer? I'd like you to write this down and meditate it. When we set out our stall to first serve the senior leader and secondly to serve the senior leader's vision, God will slowly maneuver us around in the church by his Holy Spirit, and he will place us in the position where we need to be in that local body, and will bring our calling, giftedness, and vision to full fruitfulness, because we put the senior leader first. Not because we're going to kowtow to him, not because he's going to order us around, but because it's the attitude of a servant to serve the leader of the church. This is the way Jesus served. You imagine God said to Jesus, go to the cross, as an act of servanthood. Jesus didn't say, oh, sling your hook. No, he went to the cross because he had the attitude of a servant. And in my view, it's the failure to see and put into practice this principle that has led to most church splits and people leaving churches. I've been a Christian now nearly 50 years, and I've put this principle into practice a number of times. And guess what? It always works. But you've got to have the humility of a servant to see it work. See, if you've got your own agenda and that is what you're pushing in your church, it will always lead to breakdown, folks. But if you're willing to come down and put somebody else first, you will see God do great things in your life. So, have a great day. See you again next week. Bye-bye.